I'm Natalie Hodson, and I have not done a Facebook Live in a while, so I'm so excited. As you guys know, I just recently launched my Crock-pot cookbook, and so over the next couple weeks, I'm just going to be showing you how to make a bunch of the recipes out of the cookbook. So go ahead and leave a comment with the word Crock-pot, and I'll respond as soon as this video is over with a live message, or excuse me, as soon as this live video is over with a private message, and I'll give you a guide that has my 5 favorite healthy crock-pot meals. So this is stuffed peppers. It's seriously one of the easiest meals to make. My kids love it. I make it when in fact, we have guests coming over later tonight. That's why I'm making this right now. And it's easy and it's healthy. So I'm gonna kind of talk to you guys while I show you what I'm doing. And if you guys have any questions, just leave them and let me know. So I have Kurt behind the camera is filming this for me so I could use both hands. So he's gonna be reading. So if you guys hear some random person's voice, it's Kurt, and he's gonna be reading all your guys' comments. So also leave a comment, let me know like where you're tuning in from and what you guys are making for dinner tonight. It's really fun for me to like see where you guys are from and hear what you guys are doing. So, okay. So I did some of this beforehand just so you guys didn't have to see me sitting here cooking all this meat and cooking the rice. So I just cooked 1 cup of rice, measured uncooked, and then once it's cooked, it ends up being 2 cups. And then I ground a whole bunch of, you can either do, I did ground beef this time. You could do lean ground turkey. You can do wild game. This is an awesome recipe to use if you have a bunch of elk or venison meat. You're not sure what to do with it. This is a really good recipe. And so I'm just gonna turn the burner back on. And you guys, this is one of like my favorite recipes out of the Crock-pot cookbook. So the whole reason I made this cookbook, some people were asking, is because, so I just mixed my rice in, by the way. I'm gonna pour in 1 can of tomato, or diced tomatoes. The recipe actually calls for a can of tomato paste, and when I went to make this, I realized that I was out of tomato paste. So I'm gonna make it today with tomato sauce instead, and it's fine. It will still be really good. So you just pour in 1 can of diced tomatoes. These are petite diced, any brand will work. And then I'm gonna start with half a can of tomato sauce and just see how the consistency goes. You're really supposed to use tomato paste, and that's what the recipe calls for in my cookbook. And then we're just gonna do a tablespoon of Worcestershire, 1/4 of a teaspoon of onion powder, 1/4 of a teaspoon of garlic powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of basil, and then you're also supposed to do rosemary, which again, I was just making this for my family and then decided to share with you guys. So sometimes I switch the recipes up a little bit just depending on what I have handy. So yeah, basically how this cookbook got started is a couple of years ago I was on Pinterest trying to find healthy crock-pot meals. And I was like, man, it was almost impossible for me to find healthy crock-pot meals. And I got really discouraged because I'm like, there's gotta be a way to make crock-pot meals healthy. But every recipe that I saw had like tons of cream of chicken or cream of mushroom or like just like really unhealthy, tons of cheese or sugar heavy barbecue sauces. This is the onion powder. Or tons of butter, you know. And so I just got really creative in the kitchen. This was probably about, I don't know, 5 years ago. And over the last 5 years, I've just accumulated this. People always ask, where do you get your recipes? I just make them in my head. I don't know. I mean, you can ask Kurt here. I've had a lot of bad recipes I've tried to do.
I found a sticker in one of my Crock-pot
yeah,
concoctions.
I was peeling off these peppers for this video today. I'm like, oh, I'll just peel these off before I go live. And he's like, yeah, by the way, you gave me one of those Crock-pot meals and it had a sticker in it. Oops. We getting any comments coming in?
Yeah, there's tons of them.
Okay.
Sarah Ham, I made my steak in my Crock-pot today.
Awesome.
There's been a ton of them.
Can you read them as they come in?
Yeah, a lot of people just saying Crock-pot, like you said at the beginning, right?
Cool, yeah. So if you guys are just tuning in, make sure to leave a comment with the word Crock-pot, and I'll send you guys a private message as soon as this video is over with my guide that has 5 of my favorite healthy Crock-pot recipes.
Somebody from Argentina.
Really? Cool.
George William.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put the whole can of tomato sauce in here. You're really supposed to use tomato paste, like I said, but I'm improvising with what I have. So you want the consistency to be like not runny like soup, just kind of nice and all mixed together like this. So see how it's kind of all mushing together.
Do you have a Crock-pot recipe book?
I do. So I just came out with it. I put the link above, and when we're done with this video, we'll leave a comment with the link to it as well. I just came out with it actually. So in fact, that's the story I was telling, is how I came up with it. So a lot of you guys have been, because I make crock-pot recipes all the time, and so a lot of you guys have been asking me, and so I spent how many days cooking here in the kitchen, making all these crock-pot meals, and every night I had to like invite all my neighbors and friends over because we had all these full meals for this recipe book. So what I do first is I like to spray it with just some like non-stick cooking spray, so that way, in this recipe in particular, because you don't want this mixture to stick to the bottom of the pan. And then you can just use any kind of peppers. I like the colored ones because they are more flavorful. I think they're a little bit sweeter and they look prettier. You know, an interesting thing about peppers you guys might not know is that like orange peppers start as green peppers, and then the riper they get, the more vibrant in color they get. And so that's why these peppers are more expensive than green, because they've had to sit on the vine longer. Just a random tidbit that popped into my head. So a couple of these I've already cut the lids off, so I'll show you how I did that in a second, but I'm just gonna get these out of the way. So what you're gonna do is just stick your peppers in here. I like to kind of make it look pretty and alternate my colors, which I'm weird like that. And then, let me find my knife. So you want to cut the lids off of the peppers. Now you want to try to do it so that way the lids will still, like I go like this, because I'm going to try and put that lid back on at the end. And then you just pull out the seeds, toss those. And then I rinse these beforehand, but you could rinse that out too if you wanted. All right, and then just make sure all these little seeds are out of here.
Hello from Iceland.
Ooh, Iceland. That's cool. Who said that?
Laffy.
Okay, cool.
It's hard to pronounce.
All right, so then I go like that. I think this is the first time you've made that on one of my live videos, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
In case you guys are wondering, Kurt is my boyfriend, and we've been dating for a long time now. I kind of like keep that part of my life off social media, just because I like keeping some things private. But
I eat all these crock-pot concoctions.
So we're gonna kind of squish these in here, however they'll fit best. It's slippery from that spray I put in there. Okay, some people always want to know too, can you use those plastic crock-pot inserts to make cleanup easier? You can. I personally don't love cooking with plastic. It's just a personal preference, but you totally can if you want. Okay, and then what's fun is you kind of want to remember which lids came from which peppers, so then at the end, after we fill these up, you can put them back on. Just keep that in mind.
Christy Cooper, I like your shirt.
Oh, thank you. I got it from Charming Charlie like last year. Okay, so you can make these with cheese or without. I'm going to do half of them with cheese and half of them without, just because we have guests coming over tonight, and the cheese is obviously better. But I don't want mine with cheese. I'm trying to watch what I'm eating right now. So then you can just take a little bit of cheese, and then if you want to show this, Kurt, you can just like sprinkle a little bit in the bottom. By the way, if you hear my children, I apologize in advance. They're downstairs while we do this video. Okay, so then you put a little bit of cheese in there. And then you're gonna take a spoon, and you're just gonna scoop this mixture that you just made into your peppers, like that. Now, if you don't have a crock pot, you actually can still make this recipe in a pan. Just take like a casserole dish, line it with foil for easy cleanup, and then just bake it in the oven. This is also a really good one that you can bring, like if you've had a friend who just had a baby, maybe, or who's sick. This is a really fun one to bring over to somebody as well, because it's like really easy. And even if you put it in a casserole dish, like they could, a lot of times when I have friends who have babies, I'll bring it over in one of those disposable like tin foil dishes. And that way they don't have to do dishes, and they don't have to worry about getting stuff back to you, you know. Any more comments coming in?
Tons of them, yeah.
Well, bring them to me.
Love your real videos. Thanks, looks great. Definitely trying this one from Dawn.
Aw.
L. Stewart.
Okay, so if you guys are watching this, how many of you have really struggled with like finding healthy meals for your family that your kids will actually eat? Me, hello. That's how all my recipes end up like coming to fruition, is because I get frustrated because I'm like, my kids won't eat the stuff that I think tastes good. And so this whole cookbook is full of like really, really kid-friendly recipes. If you're just tuning in, make sure to leave a comment, say Crockpot, because what I'll do is as soon as this video is over, I'll private message you a copy of my free guide that has 5 of my favorite healthy crockpot meals. I do have a cookbook that's for sale, but I also just wanted to help you guys get used to making healthy meals for your family. So I created this free guide that you guys can have and use, and there's no charge, there's no hidden strings or anything like that. Okay, so those 3 that I started and put cheese, I'm going to put cheese on top too. So I'm doing 3 with cheese and 3 without. I don't think there's anything wrong with cheese. I'm just really trying to watch what I'm eating right now. So I'm half cheese and half don't. And then what you do is you take your extra, like see how there's quite a bit left in the pot, and you just fill that all around the peppers. So then when people fill up their plates later, they can, you know, have the filling that's in the pepper, but then they have the yummy inside, because that's the best part. And you can use brown rice. I actually prefer to use kind of like wild rice here, but so I hope you guys will check out the link to my Crockpot. The reviews we've been getting back so far have been awesome. In fact, some of you guys have been Snapchatting me and saying like, look what I'm making tonight. I can't wait to show you what I made tomorrow. I show in the Crockpot cookbook exactly what, I should not be licking my fingers while I'm making this, but this is for our family, so.
Somebody was asking what kind of meat it is.
Okay, so this is actually, so Kurt runs cows. He has an adventure company called Kilgore Adventures, and he also has a cattle ranch. So this is actually one of his cows that was raised on their property. They, you know, slaughtered themselves, so it's grass-fed beef. So this is lean beef. You can use lean ground turkey. You can use wild game like elk or deer venison. So then what you do is you just plop, these were extra large peppers, and so you can't see it that good, but then you just plop these lids right back on. Oh, I warned you, you might see my kids jump in on this. What, babe? Hey, we're doing a video. Do you want to say hi? Guess she doesn't want to say hi. And that's it. So you just put this, you plug this in, and then make sure you, yes you can. Make sure that I put it on high for like 2 or 3 hours, and really since your meat's all the way cooked on this particular recipe, all you're wanting is for the potatoes to get soft and for all those flavors to mix together. So,
this was a cool one because I don't cook anything like it, and when she does this one, it's like a big Christmas present, you know, the appearance of them is kind of cool. Everybody likes it.
Yeah, they're fun. Like any of our friends that have come over, they're always like, are you going to make those stuffed peppers again? So in the cookbook, I show you a whole week of like what a typical week of meals looks like for me. So I show you how I meal prep and how I use Crock-Pot meals to meal prep. And like if I cook one meat in bulk, how I use that throughout the week in different recipes. I show you exactly like all the rules for freezing meals, right? So I can show you how to make a whole month's worth of dinner in one afternoon, and I show you that in the book. And then I give you tips on like how long can you keep it in the freezer? Can you defrost the chicken at the same time you're defrosting everything else in the freezer meal? I talk a lot about, which I'll tell you about right now. So a lot of people ask me, well, what if I work all day, but the recipe is like a 4-hour cook time? How do I make that work? Well, this Crock-Pot is awesome. So let me actually show you. It's just the Crock-Pot brand. They have other brands. And then, like, let's say you want to cook this for 4 hours. You just go like that, and then after 4 hours, it'll automatically switch to keep warm. So that way, it's just like ready for you when you walk in the door. I saw somebody's comment when I was looking at that. So I did season the meat just with salt, pepper, and garlic powder. I really like the Costco. In fact, let me grab them here. The Costco brand seasonings, I just think they taste really good. Himalayan pink sea salt, the coarse ground pepper, and then this California garlic. These are like, I think, the best seasonings around. And I use this combo of these 3 seasonings for like everything. In fact, if you guys have followed me for a while, you're like, yeah, that's how she seasons for vegetables, and that's how she seasons for meat. Like, I just think the combo of these 3 seasonings is like the best. I don't really think that we have to serve this with anything else. The cookbook has dinner recipes, like most what you would imagine Crock-pot recipes. We also have breakfast recipes. We have dessert recipes, which I warn you in the book that they're like healthy-ish because they're not super, super healthy, but they're healthier than like a lot of the recipes you see. I do have a couple instant pot recipes in there. I'm not a huge instant pot-er, but there are some things that I really love to make in the instant pots. I have that in there. And then I also have a whole section with sides. So that way, a lot of the recipes in the Crock-pot are dinner, you know, but you might want, like, if it's just a plain meat dish or something, you might want a side to go with it. And so I show you, we can do roasted potatoes or squash or, you know, all these different side suggestions and ideas that we do in our house.
A lot of people have said they like the look of the cookbook, really liking it, like the name.
Good.
In the recipes. So
that's
a lot
awesome.
of people interested in the healthy factor.
Cool.
Somebody asked, Mary Johnson says, does your book lay out the macros?
It does, actually. It's a great question. I'm glad you asked that. So every single recipe, I show calories, carbs, fat, protein, and then most of them also have sugar and fiber as well. And then suggested serving portion size, and then how many servings per recipe in every single recipe. We went through, actually I personally went through and like made sure that all of those were calculated correctly. And you guys were talking about the look, so I'm gonna let the cat out of the bag for anybody watching this video. So we recently went through and rebranded my whole site. You've probably noticed, like, if you get my emails, the new branding that's come through on our emails, pretty soon my whole website's gonna be updated. And it should be done in the next month or so, and I'm really excited. Like, my website's great now, but I feel like it's a lot of bright pinks and bright yellows, and this is a very, the new look is gonna be a lot, like, more, almost like elegant, classy, just it's kind of matured as I've matured too. So I'm super excited about it, and I can't wait to like roll out everything with that new look.
Stacy Chamberlain, have you ever used rutabaga?
Rutabaga?
Yeah, maybe.
It's a vegetable, and I have, but I don't use it a lot. It's really good. It's like crunchy consistency, but I don't use it a whole lot. I think it's like really popular down in the island, Pacific, like Jamaica, I think, down there. Any other good questions that come in?
Just Crock-pot, Crock-pot, Crock-pot,
Okay.
Crock-pot. A whole bunch of them.
Okay, guys. Well, you guys saw how easy that was for me to make. Like, I could have made this before I left for the day, came home, and had a healthy dinner ready for my whole family. So I hope that was helpful. You guys, every single week, I'm going to try and share another healthy Crock-pot recipe for you. Leave a word, like I said, leave a message, leave a comment with the word Crock-pot. I'll private message you with my guide that has 5 free healthy Crock-pot recipes. But if you want to just go ahead and buy the whole thing, because I promise you it's good, the link is in the comments above. Or if you want the link, just say, hey, can you message me the link to the cookbook, and as soon as this video is over, we'll message it to you. So I appreciate you guys, everybody who's purchased this cookbook so far. It was a labor of love, and I'm really, really, really proud of it. It's beautifully laid out inside, and it's just something that I'm so happy to have done. And so from my kitchen to yours, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and have a good night.